Bitcoin has flushed down below 40K and price of XRP is slowly breaking to the downside from a long-term trend line. What the hell is happening? What do you think is about to follow through? Ether is down back to 2,300. Was this expected? Was the market showing us this? Remember when the market wanted to go higher a few months back, the market showed us something like this, a divergence. What happened? The market broke higher, it went up. Same here. Just a couple of days back, we had this thought process shared. Okay, Ether is forming what? A negative divergence, which means the price should come back down. It follows the history, and most likely we would at least rhyme that way. As of now, it does feel like we're going that way. So right now, when you're actually looking at things, it gives you a lot of clarity. What is it going to do? Where are we now? What do you expect the price to do? A few days back, I talked about this possibility. Now, here we are seeing somewhat same thing playing out. So once you understand what the market is doing, once you look at the macro and ask that question, and yeah, you need to definitely follow up to give you the best detail. A week back, I shared this with the SI family saying, okay, this is what I'm looking for. That's like 39,184. That's the first part. But there's a catch in it. This is the history. So we should not forget the history, because if we do, these kind of things are about to surprise you big time. So we had this thought process of the best case and the worst case. The worst case is playing out, but the good thing in that, the time taken for that, it's not extending all the way towards February. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, when you are looking at the market, you're seeing a lot of different assets bleeding for sure. Go look at the assets which have got hit the hard and look where they are in the macro cycle. If you do see them hitting that support zone, try or at least think about buying more if that's at a macro support and you're like, okay, that's what I wanted. You go back, you look at the basics and you're like, oh, think about this for a moment. If you do see things happening like this, the textbook pattern looks like this. That's so simple, so easy, you get it like you want. But in real life, you get to see things like this. So you had to include the wave structure into this to get more clarities. Again, you are here, the 1, the 2, the micro 3, slowing down. What can you expect? That's the big question everyone is trying to answer in this market. But before that, we'll actually look at this. Sometime back, we actually saw MasterCard form CBDC partnership program with Ripple and Consensus. That's a great thing. And just today, we saw the fact that they are now working with Stellar. And people are getting surprised. Hey, what the hell is happening, right? I'm like, guys, think about it on a different front. Both of them are trying to get into the CBDC era, the new financial era. So some countries will run on Stellar, some countries will run on Ripple, for sure, there is no doubt. MasterCard is a service provider. They don't just want one country, they want majority of the share. So they will be partnering with a lot of different institutions. So don't just go in that side of FUD saying, okay, this is it, XRP is collapsing. Think about this. Bitcoin dropped from 49,000 down to 39,000. And in the meantime, this is all of what you saw in XRP, from 0.62 to 0.52. Historically, that's not what happens in XRP when Bitcoin is dropping. You get to see a doom, but you're not watching that, right? That is a perfect thing to watch. And again, we still have the divergence here. It's not getting flushed. It is still bullish. It is still happening there, which is positive. But again, did you actually reach a trend line support? That's a big question. The low which we made here in XRP back in Jan the 3rd, we're still at that level. We're just above that. We need to go visit that level of 0.5 again, and that should be a great thing to see. Okay, we are getting more buyers in. Now, if you go back to Bitcoin, the question is, what are we really looking at? Historically, yeah, the average is 25%. I agree, there is no doubt in it. But this cycle, that is last 13 months, each correction is like 20%, 21%, 22%. So put that the average 21%. So that 21% mark in Bitcoin comes close to 38,300. Now, if we are looking at this and saying that's going to be the perfect buying opportunity where I would buy, whales would think like, nah, I'm not going to let them do that. Either they flush a little bit lower than that, or most likely they will bounce back above that level. So that's where we are looking at. This is Bitcoin on a daily. You're looking at the 21-day moving average, which is the orange line, and the blue is the 100-day moving average, standard moving average. Here you're watching that the price is now getting super close to that level. So we're like, okay, let's zoom in. Let's see if someone think that it's a good area to buy, and some people buying. Because say, for example, if people are shorting this market, at one point, they'll have to take the profits, they'll have to cover the shorts, right? That's where you'll actually get to see the strength on the other end of the selling side reducing and them going into buy to cover the shorts. One, you'll see them buying. Two, those who think it's undervalued at this point, where Bitcoin dropped from 49,000 down to 39,000, you'll see them buying. So if an institution entered and bought at 49 or 45, now they have an opportunity to dollar cost average to buy more at a cheaper price. What do you think they will be doing? That's where you see these institutions are loading up on their Bitcoins, loading up their exposure in this market. When we actually saw things like this, it was clear, like, this is literally like there is going to be a pullback. The question is whether this pullback is more like 2016 or 2019. So you had multiple instances where the price actually dropped. One, where there was a lot of macroeconomic factors happening. So unless you have something similar to this era, most likely that's not going to come in. What is going to come in, most likely, is a scenario like this. You're still trending higher. You're still maintaining that structure. That's important. Because on the crypto side, when you're looking at the total crypto market, including Ether, it is actually showing you it still has that bullish divergence. More sellers came in, trying to push the price down, but they did not manage to do that. That's a good thing to see, because when you go onto the MACD, and well, that was a mistake. So if you actually jump onto the MACD and you're looking at it, this is something to keep in mind. You're reaching the range here, which is where the bottom of the price usually is. That kind of shows you the fact that, okay, watch for the possibility that there is a local bottom coming in, whether it's here, whether it is here, whether it is here. You see what's happening in the price action. So the first one is where the RSI does this. You get this. The second one is where it bounces off. So you get to see things like this. If we do get a small bounce in the market, it is going to actually slowly push the price higher. Now, this is another key stuff, a really important factor. Bitcoin dominance didn't go up. Bitcoin dominance didn't drop, while Bitcoin is doing all these things. So this is a daily chart and we are watching from 14th Jan. That's from 1 week. It's still consolidating in one range after the drop to the downside. So you go back a week and you're literally looking at what Bitcoin was doing on that 14th. It was somewhat like here. The first drop was still close to 42,500 and the dominance reached the bottom. Now, Bitcoin price is still going down, but you're not watching the altcoins getting flushed, or you're not watching the Bitcoin dominance skyrocketing to the upside. That's a good thing for the alt market. But again, if there is a bounce back to retest this range, that shouldn't be surprising. Most likely, you would actually see that the price goes back up for sure. The Bitcoin bounces back up for sure. But you see the dominance, at least this is what we really want to see. The dominance go up here, get to retest this range and then get rejected to the downside. That is where a lot of altcoins will go alive. But the entire market was looking at this, the dollar. The dollar is like, nah, I'm not going down. I'm not going down. I want to go up. At least that's what it is saying right now on a daily candle with the daily close. Sellers pushed the price down, but bulls came back in, pushed it back up, closed it there. And that kind of created almost like a piercing candle. That shows bulls are back in dollar. Whether that's about the inflation staying higher, whether that's about rates may have to be higher for longer narrative, that is still they trying to push this. And that's one of the key area where we zoom out and see like, okay, all those hell is happening. Where are we really? Right? Can we really go back up to these levels? Can we do this before a corrective leg to the downside? Now, on the stock market side, risk on is still risk on. This is the weekly chart and this is what you're observing. The RSI on a weekly is here. That's when the price usually bursts. Whether it's crypto, whether it's stock market, we have seen that happening in the market. So you go into the monthly and you're like, okay, we still have some room to the upside. But yes, for sure, if you are a monthly RSI guy, you're looking at this trend line and you're putting the argument like we are at that resistance. Will we break up? If we do break to the upside, you will see something like this. Boom. Stock market goes up. So on the other end, when people are talking to you saying 90% crash. No, it's a reverse market crash. Remember, we've been talking about this for 2.5, 3 months, saying, guys, watch. Most people are not prepared for this. And then the price bounced off from the moving average. Now, that was like close to 33,000. Right now, it's at 38,000. That's the Dow Jones. So if you do see that continuation to the upside, whether it's on the Dow Jones, whether it's on the NASDAQ, don't be surprised. Your government is printing a ton more money than you have anticipated. They are literally the world is going through two conflicts at two ends. A lot of different countries are funding that. They need to print more money, which kind of debases their own currency. So if you look at NASDAQ, this is literally that textbook pattern where you would say like, okay, that's a cup and handle. What else do you need as a confirmation? This is your measured move here. Take that and plot it to the upside. It goes through the roof. A lot of people are not prepared for this. All of them want to see this. And what if the market goes to the other direction? We saw this in last 1 year in few different arenas, especially in last 5 years. If you're focusing on different country, we are literally watching this is happening in different countries, maybe 6 or 7 countries. And this is a year, 2024 is a year where you have the primary election, the federal election in like 40 different nations. That's a key thing to watch. These politicians don't want to go ask votes when the economy is going through the drums. At least they'll say, look, stock market is at the all-time high. I'm doing it for you. Vote for me, right? This is what they would like to do. So they will try to lower the taxes, stimulate the economy more. All of those things are that's risk on sentiment. But then people go to the safe haven asset and ask like, whoa. All that you explained means risk on. But gold is still at the all-time highs. Why isn't it that at $1,000? Right? That's where the geopolitical tension, the war, those who look for safety, all of that comes in. And gold is still showing you that it isn't an accumulation. It broke to the upside. It would retest and then most likely bounce off. So that is going to be a short range where you will see that blow off in the stock market. Maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. I don't know. No one I know can give a time on that. But when you come back to the crypto market with all of those, that for me is literally the reality of the market. If you miss what the market is showing you right now in front of you, most likely in a couple of months, maybe even a couple of weeks, you would regret. Because if the market plays this, that's a surprise factor. When I'm talking about the surprise factor, it's not just like that. We're looking at the micro, the medium, the long term, the macro, everything together so that you guys understand it. SA family, get all of this at the right time for all the assets, not just the Bitcoin, not just the Ether, the macro, the micro of all the assets in your portfolio, so you know what's happening. And if you want these kind of updates on the right time while the volatility is hitting your portfolio, look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below in YouTube or in the bio in Twitter. Now, look at this for a moment. Before we conclude the video, I want you to understand this. I believe this is a big part of the cycle. Each and every time you're watching this, back in 2012, 2013, then 2017, this is repeating every time. So if you are a macro guy who's not, concerned about short-term noise in the market, most likely a Ranko chart or this one that's a Heikin should help you avoid the noise of the market and only focus on the candles which are closed. So if you are playing with one candle, it doesn't mean much. You have to wait for that candle to close. So the monthly close is going to come in a week. You need some more patience. For sure, wait for another 10 days and you're going to get the confirmation. Now, what do you see here? There was a lot of this noise showing I'm dropping 30%, dropping 40%. It's playing with your emotions. But then at the end of the day, what happens? It goes back up. That is the part where noise in the market kind of plays out. Now, I'm not talking about last 2 years. I'm not talking about last 5 years. I'm taking whatever I can see in Bitcoin. I'm going all the way back to 2009 till this point. And I'm putting that argument like, okay, if that's the truth, what the market is showing me for last 14 years, I would go with it rather than saying I'm smart. No, I don't think that way. I think the market shows us a lot of different things to keep in mind, and most likely the market is right than what we think. That's true. There's going to be a golden opportunity for a lot of people who missed out on a lot of different trades, who missed out on a lot of different buying opportunity in the market. Yes, for sure, you're not going to be able to buy Ether back here at $1,000. Most likely not even at 1,600. But if you are lucky, 1,900 is going to be a great area, a perfect area. You still have the support coming in at 2,000. Now, is that a huge difference if you are to buy and hold for some time? No, that's just 7% to the downside. So the question really becomes like, what's the optimal move for you in the market? Because if the market is to behave like this, where you had a consistent move to the upside in the market, these two candles, and you held on to that range. So if you are to hold on to this range, you come back down, you go boom. That again will surprise a lot of people who just want to see the market dropping. And if that doesn't happen, they'll say there is a lot of manipulation. I agree. The whales, the financial institutions try to do this. But for some reason, which I don't understand why, this time it's being more predictable than usual. I don't know why, but that's the case, right? Whether it's at the bottom where we're talking about, we're going to go up, or whether it's at the local top where we're saying, no, it's about to drop here, right? All of this is becoming more and more predictable. So be prepared for that and try to take the opportunities which the market is showing you right in front of you right now. Now, if you are like, okay, I'll pack my bags, I'm fine, great. What you need is the best information to stay well educated so you're not making any stupid mistakes and you make it till the top of wave 2. I'm not saying go through the wave 2 correction, wait for wave 3. Nah, wave 2, somewhat close to the top, take profit, move out. Enjoy your life. So guys, if you received value for your time, smash that like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.